Friendship on the ice. On a cold and quiet morning, in the endless white expanse of Antarctica, a cheerful penguin was gliding across the ice, playing. This little penguin, who saw every moment of the day as an adventure, was busy exploring its surroundings as usual. Suddenly, it noticed a giant silhouette moving in the distance. What could that be? It murmured to itself, curiosity pulling it forward. As it got closer, it saw a massive polar bear sitting on a chunk of ice, looking quite sad. The penguin hesitated at first because polar bears usually weren't found in Antarctica, but it gathered its courage and approached the bear. "Hello," said the penguin cheerfully. "Who are you, and what are you doing here?" The polar bear slowly lifted its head. "Hello, little friend," it replied. "I'm a polar bear. I drifted all the way here from where my home is. I was on a chunk of ice, and the wind carried me here. Now, I don't know what to do." Seeing how helpless the enormous bear looked, the penguin decided to help. "Don't worry, polar bear," it said. "I know this place very well. I'll help you." The polar bear felt a little relieved by these words. The penguin began planning how to guide the polar bear through the ice fields to safety. As they moved along, the penguin started showing the polar bear the beauty of Antarctica. "Look at that huge iceberg over there. When the sun hits it, its glowing blue light is so beautiful," it said excitedly. The polar bear carefully looked around. Indeed, the colors reflected by the ice were mesmerizing. "The icebergs here are so different from the ones back home," it said. "They're wider and brighter. But finding a way back is more important to me than admiring this beauty." The penguin thought for a moment. "First, let's find a safe place for you to stay," it said. "Then I'll figure out a way to get you back home." The penguin led the polar bear to a massive ice cave. Inside, there were crystal-like icicles that sparkled brightly. "This place will keep you safe from the wind and cold," the penguin said. The polar bear was impressed by the cave. "This place is truly amazing," it said in awe. "But I'm worried about you, little friend. You don't have to trouble yourself so much for me." The penguin smiled. "Friends help each other. Besides, this is as much my adventure as it is yours." As they continued their journey, a problem arose. The polar bear's weight caused the ice to crack beneath them. The penguin and the polar bear quickly tried to find a safe area. At one point, the polar bear accidentally stepped onto a thin patch of ice. "Stop!" the penguin shouted. The polar bear immediately stepped back, but part of it was already stuck in the ice. The penguin frantically looked around and came up with an idea to help. "Listen to me," it said. "Don't move. I'll find something to pull you out." The penguin found sturdy strands of seaweed near a seal's den and used them like a rope. Carefully, it pulled the polar bear free. The polar bear let out a deep breath. "You're truly brave and clever," it said gratefully. Finally, they found a solution to get the polar bear back home. They carefully selected a large ice floe, and the polar bear settled onto it. With the help of some seals, the penguin guided the floe to a safe current. As the polar bear drifted away, it looked at the penguin with gratitude. "I don't know how to thank you enough for everything you've done in such a short time," said the polar bear. "You're a true friend." The penguin smiled. "Friendship doesn't need thanks. But if you ever want to see me again, don't forget me." As the polar bear disappeared into the distance, the penguin stood on the snowy shore, waving goodbye. From that day on, they never forgot each other. Every year, during the coldest part of winter, the polar bear would somehow return to visit the penguin, and together they'd go on new adventures.